come on in and let's see what we got. And welcome to Doscher's Candies here in Newtown, Ohio.
Here we make candy buttons, we also make candy canes, and we also make French chew.
We proudly make 3 candies right here in Newtown. Of course, most people know the French chew bar. We make that right here. We also have started making, well, for about 10 years now, the little bite-sized French chew for our older clientele who remember eating the French chews. The bar might be too much, so now we have the bite-sized pieces. We are the oldest candy cane company in the U.S., located right here in Newtown, so not a lot of people are aware of that. We're very proud of that. If you're familiar with our canes, you know how good they taste. Looking at them, they're much bigger, much thicker, much brighter, the texture. They eat crunchier, so very proud of that. It's lasted throughout the time. Then the third candy you may remember as a kid, the candy dots. So these are called candy buttons, and we purchased this brand from Necco a couple years ago when they went out of business. We moved all of the equipment and the branding and created jobs, and we're proud to now be the sole manufacturer of the candy buttons right here in Newtown. When you come into Doscher's, once you go through the retail gift shop, you come into what we call our history wall. We're very, very proud of the history of Doscher, so we displayed a whole wall kind of summarizing the last 150 years. That's right, we are very proud to be celebrating 150 years this year, which is extremely rare, not only throughout the world, but here in Newtown as well. It all started back in 1871 when our founder, Klaus Doscher, and some people like to say Claus Doscher because Santa Claus and we make candy canes. Pronounce it however you want. But Klaus Doscher came over from Germany in 1871, and he joined his brothers, and they formed Doscher Brothers, downtown Cincinnati. So we were downtown for the first 146 years of our existence, and the last 4 we've been here in Newtown. So a lot of rich history in downtown Cincinnati. Eventually, they created 9 different candies that the only ones that stayed into existence today is the French chew bar and the candy canes. The others have come and gone, but those two candies have stood the test of time. Eventually, Klaus's 2 younger sons and Klaus's brother are operating the company in the 1930s. The 3 men, tragically, all pass away within about a 12-month period of time. Nobody was left to run Doscher's. Fast forward to Elsie Doscher, who I like to call the hero of our company, who is a stay-at-home mother and really had no candy experience whatsoever, and that was the widower of Klaus Doscher. She came out of retirement, regrouped. They had lost the building. The Great Depression was going on. She continued with some of the candies, but most notably the French chew and candy canes. And she ran it with her son, Harry Doscher Jr., who actually I got to become partners with in 2003. And those 2 ran it together. Elsie passed away in 1987. And as I mentioned, Harry Doscher passed away in 2009. But I joined forces, my wife and I, with Harry, and became partners in 2003 and continued to operate it and learn the intricacies of candy making. I had no experience whatsoever, but I had the best of the best with Harry Doscher, and he taught me all about candy making and hard work and physical labor of kneading candy and rolling candy, but more importantly, upholding the tradition of all of our recipes and the Doscher way of doing things the right way. So quality being first and foremost, and never sacrificing for what the mass-produced candy is made today. So even though I had grand visions of becoming this Hershey type company, I quickly realized that I was the guardian of a 150-year-old brand, and that was the most important to me. And today, that's all of the people involved in Doscher's continue to do that tradition. Some more fun facts about our history. When the Cincinnati Reds became the first Major League Baseball team, they were referred to as the Red Stockings. Well, Doscher's was first to provide candy into the stadium. we had produced what was called popcorn fritters. It was one of Doscher's very first candies. Fast forward, eventually that popcorn fritter became Cracker Jacks. So that is part of our history that we are very proud of.
As Greg mentioned before, Miss Elsie had to step into the role of a single mother, but she was also stepping into the role of running a historical candy company. But by doing this, she had to get a financial degree, and she got that from UC, and she did that during the Depression. And you can see here by these beautiful dresses made by Robin Nielsen, we like to have a bit of fun with our candy. This one here is constructed of candy buttons, and this one here has French chew on the outside with a matching purse and matching shoes.
Now, once you come visit Doscher's and you've had an opportunity to see our history wall, of course, you can browse all the variety of candy canes we do make. Most people know us for peppermint, but we have quite a variety. We have all sorts of fun flavors for kid-friendly too. So you get the same quality candy cane, but maybe a different twist on the flavor. Now we're going to walk back and see what we're making. We go right this way through the production area. It's always fun to see what we're making at Doscher's today. And welcome to Doscher's Candy Kitchen. So if you're fortunate to come in and see a tour, you're going to see this right here. This is where it all happens, regardless of what we are making. Those three candies I told you about, it all happens right here. You can see back in the very back, really unique, the copper kettles that date back to our late 1800s. Right after we were founded and created, we take very good care of them. They're kind of the secret to the candy we make because everything is mixed in that copper kettle. No scientific proof that copper makes things taste better and have better texture, but we're convinced that the old time, the good candy makers from years ago mix everything in the copper kettle. So those things are very important to us. We take very good care of them. What you see now is some very hot boiling corn syrup and sugar. Pretty much whatever we're making, candy canes, candy buttons, or French chew has to be cooked, as you can see, in copper kettles and cooked at very, very high temperatures. One fun fact about the French chew a lot of people aren't aware of is it's actually made in a whipping state where we whip 2 pounds of dried egg white with some water to create a froth. Back there you can see it just got finished mixing now, and it takes about 20 minutes to really create a foamy froth, what we call internally frappe of egg whites, and that gives the body of the French chew, unlike a Laffy Taffy or saltwater taffy where it's pulled and not mixed. Now after we're done whipping the egg whites for, like I said, about 20 minutes, it's now joining forces with the corn syrup and sugar mixture into the same copper kettle. Again, these are little steps that make the French chew what it is. The corn syrup and sugar separate, then the egg whites separate, and then eventually they're joining forces for about another 15 minutes. Now after we cook the French chew and mix it, which takes about 45 minutes, we're going to take the process, the candy, over to these cold tables. It comes out around 210, 220 degrees. It's got cold water flushing through those tables. And you can see we're making vanilla today. It's snow white in color. Most people remember French chew, the main flavor being vanilla. So we divide that into 2 tables. We're going to let it cool for about 15 minutes and then cut it into slabs. Right there, you're looking at about 1,400 French chew bars. You see a lot of bread carts throughout our factory, and you can definitely get to sample what's in it. Right here, you can see we have candy buttons. So candy buttons, we'll probably make about 3 million little dots every day, and then they have to sit in these bread carts for about 7 days to let all of the humidity dry out. We have portable dehumidifiers all over the factory. It takes anywhere from 7 to 10 days, and then they go through the wrapping stage. Now everything we make at Doscher's involves 2 essential ingredients. We've got our sugar, which we're probably one of the biggest buyers in Cincinnati of sugar. And right over there behind me, as you can hear it just turning on now, is our 50,000 pound corn syrup tank. That holds 50,000 pounds, and the one modern thing we have upgraded to is an electric pump, so we type in how much corn syrup we need and it goes into the kitchen for us. We will get probably 4 truckloads delivered here in Newtown of corn syrup and probably 50,000 pounds of sugar in 1 year. Now once we make it from the kitchen where you saw with the raw materials, and then it goes into the cooling stage, eventually it gets cut and wrapped. Where does it go from there? All throughout the US. We're very proud to be in all 50 states. So everybody loves candy buttons and French chew, and definitely during the Christmas time, candy canes are going through all throughout the world.
You know, Doscher's is here at 6926 Main Street in Newtown, Ohio.
Now to show you a little bit of how we stripe our candy canes. Each candy cane company has their own striping pattern. Ours is 3 small stripes along with 1 large stripe. The hot candy cane log is then stretched out through a series of sizing wheels, cut, and then hand hooked. Kevin here hand hooks over 3 million candy canes every year. Each candy cane is then hand packaged and hand sealed just for you. I hope you enjoyed watching our little video of what we do here at Doscher's Candies.